Hi, I'm Luke Rizzuto, and I was born up in the ranch in the Santa Cruz Mountains here, and this is my 1918 Chevrolet V8. This car has been invited on the 2008 Great Race, which is the 100th anniversary of the 1908 event. This car is invited because it's a milestone in automotive history. It's the first overhead valve V8 produced, and it is a Chevrolet, and this car only has 4,400 actual miles on it. It was owned by the Henry Ford Museum for 50 years. And not too many people know that Chevrolet made a V8 before 1955, and this is it. This is an original car all the way down to the paint. All I've done is refinish some of the mahogany and nickel plate. The engine's original, it runs fine. The Great Race is a 65-day event, 22,000 miles. It starts in New York. We drive west up through Edmonton, Canada, down to Vancouver. We get airlifted to Shanghai, China. We drive across northern China to southern Russia, to St. Petersburg, and then down to Paris, France, and we arrive there August 2nd. We'll be going through 3 continents, 21 countries, 22,000 miles. The wheels on this car are wooden spoke wheels. They're 26-inch tall. The tires are 34 by 4s, so they're 34 inches tall, which explains the wide gearing in it. The tall tires gives you the highway speed, and the low gears gives you the mountain speeds. The unique part about this 18 Chevy V8 is the nickel-plated valve covers. It is overhead valve. All the valve train is exposed. You can see the push rods and the valve lifters there. This is an aluminum intake manifold with a 2-barrel updraft carburetor. Generator is in the valley here with a fan clutch coming off of it. Gear driven, so it runs the distributor as well. Starter is in the valley. The vacuum tank is right here feeding gas to the carburetor. There's no oiling up to the valve covers. There is an oil can supplied with the car that every 250 miles you oil the rocker arms. The car, the only thing the belt does is drive the water pump. This is a water-cooled intake manifold. It is aluminum. Speedometer gear is the big cable here. The car has a 50-pound flywheel. It's also a counterbalance crankshaft for 1918s, very unheard of at that time. The transmission is a 3-speed sliding gear transmission, just like a modern transmission. The drive line is a twin universal joint drive line, which wasn't heard of until the mid-30s. Very advanced car, probably 20 years ahead of its time. The engine is 288 cubic inches, 36 horsepower. It's a 3-inch bore, 4.5-inch stroke. It's got a counterbalance crankshaft in it, which was not heard of at that time. This car is very unique in many ways. The mahogany woodwork, for instance, is a great feature. It presents the car as a nautical type theme. The steering wheel is a aluminum spoked mahogany steering wheel. We have the ignition switch and the light switches over here. We have an ammeter, speedometer, oil pressure gauge, choke lever, dash light. This is all nickel trim. Windshield is a split windshield for ventilation. That's also mahogany and nickel trimmed. These 2 levers here, one is to retard the spark so it starts easy, then you can adjust it as you're driving, and the other one is a throttle lever. This car is trimmed in French pleated leather upholstery. This seat was I had recovered, but the rest of the car is all original leather from 1918. Car has a clutch, brake pedal like a modern car, accelerator, the starter button's above the accelerator there, 3-speed sliding gear transmission, parking brake is here. Floorboards are covered with Battleship linoleum, and they're trimmed in aluminum. Fuel tank's in the rear of the car. It's a 20-gallon fuel tank. Gas gauge is on the fuel tank. Spare tires mounted on the rear. Car came with dual exhaust from the factory. Let's go for a ride. This car is so much fun to drive. I have a crowd of people around it every place I go because of the uniqueness. It's very smooth, very comfortable. the wind is through the air is wonderful. I like driving it on foggy days, sunny days. It handles the mountains really nice. The overstuffed seats is like sitting in the sofa driving the car. I've driven this thing a couple hundred miles in one day and wasn't even tired. This is a once-in-a-lifetime journey. I am so excited about doing it. I think it's just the chance of a lifetime. I'll never see another 100 years of the 1908 Great Race, and I think I can pull into Paris and be the first one there to win the race. I'm very excited about it, and I can't say enough about it. Please join me when I embark on the Great Race, an adventure of a lifetime.